Welcome everyone to Tech Tactics 2023. It's great to be back, and our first presentation of today will be with Christoph Klockow from Porsche Exclusive to go over the 911 Dakar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone. Good morning. So I'm very glad to be here today, and I try my best that everybody is able to understand me. If not, just interrupt me, so I repeat it. But before I start, I would like to start with a short video.
Out of the 305 cars that have started from Paris, Steve Rossman's Porsches are undoubtedly favourites. Tonight, Hicks, Metsch and Kussmaul are playing a Rothmans Porsche 123.
That was a wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Definitely.
So let's see, 80s music. I think that was Flock of Seagulls, 911. Doesn't get any better than that, right?
So this definitely gets me goosebumps every time I see the video, although I saw it several times. But yeah, let's start the presentation. Very happy to be here at the Tech Tactics East today. I would like to present to you not only the 911 Dakar, but also the Rallye Design Package, where my responsibility starts in this product. So some words to myself. Christoph Klockow is my name. I'm 31 years old. I was born in Berlin, also grew up in Berlin, moved to the south of Germany, to Stuttgart, Zuffenhausen, because of the love for Porsche. And so I started my job, and now I'm working as a specialist in product management for exclusive manufacture vehicles. But it's not only about the limited vehicles, it's also about overall packages for limited vehicles, such as the Rallye Design Package. So what I would like to show you today is, on the one hand, starts with the history, and on the other hand, what we made out of the history, the successful rally history. So where we defined the mission and had our concept, go over to the product highlights, not only the technical ones, but also the exterior and interior highlights, and show you something, what else is possible for the 911 Dakar. It's not only the Rallye Design Package, but further exterior designs, but have a main focus on the Rallye Design Package because we have a two-tone painting process and foiling process that is first to be done within the Porsche factory, and this is really, really exciting. And I brought you like the whole story from the beginning, when the first white painting coat is applied, until the foiling process in our Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur. Before I end the presentation with the additional equipment offer for this car. So let's start with the history.
The track is full of traps, one of the toughest since the creation of the rally. To get to the other side.
Bumpy surface, calling for a little finesse.
Ready Match now leads the Paris-Dakar overall.
Top of the roof and on top of the world.
When we came to this project, originally already like 10 years ago in the year 2012, there were two colleagues that came up with the idea, let's combine these historical characteristics with the technology of today. And that is why we thought, okay, as we have such a really successful and rich rally history that started already in the 70s, for example, with the East African Safari, we have a main focus on this history and came up with the idea to bring this characteristic and design to the 911, so the 992 of today. And our main focus was the year 1984, as you saw it already in the video, as we first take place at the Paris Rallye Dakar, and also have the overall victory with the 911, the type 953, which is on the side of the vehicle as well as a homage. And so this was our main focus also for the rally design package, because after a while, after the department gets the model line gets the permission to start this project, they came up with the idea and asked our department at Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur to come up with a package that is only available for this limited vehicle and has a really strong reference to the year 1984, which is why you see it on the photos. The Rothmans color scheme was the main focus that we had to apply this to the limited vehicle within the rally design package. And moreover, 1986, for example, with the 959, this was also really successful as it was a double victory. So we took place 1 and 2. And also, I think it was a service car that also made it to the final line and had 6th place on this rally then. So as I said, and some of you might know this, words from Ferry Porsche. The 911 is the only car with which you can go on an African safari, race the Le Mans, go to the theater, and then drive on the streets of New York. This is something well known, but then we thought, okay, let's extend those abilities to the off-road sector. So we are already on the racetrack, we are already on the boulevard, on the country road, but let's extend this to the rally road as well, gravel road, desert oasis, and this was our concept and mission for this project. So what do you think? As you can see, the car is, the chassis is different, is developed, is tested. What do you think, how many kilometers of testing goes into this procedure? 50,000 million? Anyone else? 100,000. So not that bad with a million. It's 500,000 of kilometers that goes into the testing all around the globe. It's 10,000 just in off-road testing. And as you can imagine, we have tested it all over the world, no matter if it's cold testing on snow in Sweden, heat testing in Morocco, or in Dubai to do some sand surfing. And also got the knowledge from Dakar, for example, to this project as well. looks like a lot of fun, but it's necessary. Yeah? So let's go over to the product highlights. The technical data, of course, we have a 3-liter 6-cylinder boxer engine with 480 PS, 570 Newton meters of torque, 3.4 seconds until the 100 kilometers order, and a Vmax of 240 kilometers per hour due to the all-terrain wheels that is normally equipped with the 911 Dakar, and only 1,605 kilograms. I have another slide where we can see the difference between the normal 911 and the 911 Dakar. And as you can imagine and see all the details that goes to the car with the highest suspension and so on, it's really impressive that it's only 10 kilograms more than the normal 911. And the maximum ground clearance of 19 centimeters, 191 millimeters, which is the normal niveau of a Porsche Cayenne. Also really impressive. This is made by an adaptation of the chassis with a standard 50 millimeter higher suspension compared to a 911 Carrera suspension, and another 30 millimeters that can be made with the lifting system on the front and rear axle. What's another point that really impresses me is that you can have the highest suspension, so 80 millimeters plus compared to a 911 Carrera Sport suspension, and drive at this level up to 170 kilometers per hour. So when it comes to the vehicle body, just a look at the 911 Dakar, we have those carbon fiber front lid and spoiler that is newly made for the 911 Dakar. We have lightweight glass. We have a 12-volt roof socket for the headlights of the roof basket. We have specific front and rear parts with underride protection of stainless steel, as well as for the side skirts. Then we have wheel arches extensions and towing eyes on the front and rear. And I can give you a closer look to those one. Forged high-strength aluminum. Those are easily accessible on the front and rear. So it's not that you have to pull, or you can pull them out. It's a characteristic of the 911 Dakar. And those are red powdered coated with the signal colors to, it's really easily to find and really easily accessible. Moreover, they integrated another driving modes, so not only the PASM, PDCC were adapted, but also we have like 2 new driving modes. It's the off-road mode and the rally mode, and both modes have the rally launch control, although the normal launch control is still existing, but with the rally launch control we have a little bit more fun, I think, with up to 20% of wheel slip. And when it comes to the driving modes, for example, the rally driving mode is rather focusing on driving pleasure. So easier for gravel grounds, as we want to have those wheel slip. On the other hand, we have the off-road driving mode, which is focused on optimal traction, as you can see it in the dust here for dune surfing, for example. Then we want the traction to get further. The all-terrain wheels were specifically made by Pirelli as an original equipment. So the customer can decide from the beginning in the configuration if he wants the all-terrain wheels or goes with the summer wheels. And so we have, with those all-terrain wheels, we have 2 carcass plies, extremely cut resistant, and a tread depth at least 9 millimeters. The rolling noise I tested by myself is not really different to winter tires. And yeah, as I said, the summer wheels are available as well. So, and this is what I mentioned before regarding the lightweight. As you can see, all those things like the cooling fan or the wheels and tires, as well as the PDCC or the rear axis steering, gave us a big plus when it comes to the weight. and that is why there were a few things done to reduce the weight as well. For example, the carbon fiber parts, not only the front lid and rear spoiler that I mentioned before, but also when it comes to the interior, like the full bucket seats or the lightweight glass or battery, to reduce the weight compared to the 911 Carrera 4 GTS with only a plus of 10 kilograms. So what's more, for the rally design package, those details that I mentioned before are rather for the 911 Dakar, but as I mentioned before, we also built the optional rally design package. As you can see it on the picture, with a strong reference to the 953. What's the difference, or what is the difference compared to the standard model 911 Dakar, is that we have these two-tone painting and decorative foils on the car as well. So everything you see on this picture on the car behind you, everything what's white and blue is painted, and everything what's red and gold is a decorative foil. And as you can imagine, this is really a complex process because it's always our goal to have as much painting as possible. But to do so within our plant, it's not always easy to implement such processes. That is why I come to this point later on again. And also the rally site graphic with the individual numbers, so the customer is able to personalize the number. Here we have the 953 as a strong reference, but you can also go with the 176 or something like that. And rough roads, also I said it already yesterday, was kind of funny because normally on the side we have those Rothmans lettering. But as we were not allowed to sell the package in some markets because of the tobacco advertisement, we have to come up with different naming. And that is why we thought, okay, rough roads is exactly what the car is standing for. And on the first view, you don't have really a difference to the Rothmans lettering. That is why we choose the rough roads. So. Let's go further to the interior. As I said, for the exterior, we have those main colors, white and gentian blue metallic. So we also try to transfer those colors into the interior as well, which is why you see these blue accents in the interior, but also those white accents. We have a GTS interior package, so a lot of race text parts, but also thought that maybe this is not enough, so we integrated more race text parts on it. For example, the dashboard upper section is also finished in race text. The GT Sport steering wheel is finished with race text. Also have a decorative stitching, but not only that, it has a 12 o'clock marking in shark blue. We have those seat belts in shark blue as well. The stitching on the headrests, as I said before, to reduce weight, we have those full bucket seats with a seat center and race text as well, perforated, and a backing behind. When you see it in the car, on the picture it's maybe a little bit difficult to see, but we have a backing behind the perforated seat centers in shark blue as well. So a little bit more details also about the roof lining with perforated race text. As you can see on this picture here, we have the roll cage. That is an optional offer within the Rally Sport package as well. The limitation badge for sure, as this car is limited to 2,500 units worldwide. So we always have the limitation badge with the individual number of the car. Further details, as we have the gear selector here, also with the small parts in race text as well. And as I said, the sport steering wheel comes with decorative stitching, but also for those, it's always our ambition to not only have those parts that you can see on the first view, but also have some ideas where maybe you can just see it on the second view. For example, the rough roads lettering on the side, or here also the combination of the white and blue on the steering wheel, so we have both colors on the stitching. this picture shows you those details a little bit better. So again, a lot of racetex components. And for those where this is still not enough racetex parts, we have an extended package that combines 5 further options together in one package, built up in racetex as well. For example, the interior mirror panel. We have the air vent slats also in racetex built with a contrasting stitching. We have the owner's manual wallet in racetex with the Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur embossing. We have the fuse box in racetex as well. And the dorsal guards and all those parts are finished for the first time in racetex. So as we had the ambition to build as much racetex parts as possible, we have the extended package as well. So in the further detail, so every Dakar with the Rally Design Package come with this key painted, and also this small part is a really interesting story because the vehicle key, the side of the vehicle key, is painted in white. Then there's a second coat in black, and then there's a laser who get down the second surface, so you can see these details coming out. And those details are not just a profile of some tires, but it's exactly the profile from the all-terrain tires that are mounted to the car. So exterior design and color range. I have a short slide here. We have 6 standard colors for the car that can be chosen. Furthermore, we have the optional Rally Design Package, as I mentioned before, and paint to sample available for this car. And moreover, there are further exterior designs that can be chosen for the car, especially in regards to the history that I mentioned before, 1971, 1974, and 1978. So this is the decorative set for the African Safari design for 1971, Kühne and Nagel for 1974, and the Martini design for 1978. So these are the exterior designs, but I'm mainly here as I was the product manager for the Rally Design Package to give you some more insights to the painting process as well as the foiling process in the Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur. So I brought a lot of pictures with me, but I take you on a tour from the beginning in the painting plant, where it all starts with a run-through of white coat and also the first apply of the clear coat within the standard line. But as you imagine, and as I said, both colors, white and gentian blue metallic, are painted. And as you can imagine, this is not possible to make it in a standard line where all the cars are painted. That is why we have like a combination of 2 different lines. So there's a standard line and there's a multi-line, and on the multi-line there's all the craftsmanship done. So all the manual processes were done on the multi-line. But we start at the standard line and have the paint of the white on the vehicle body before we go further and sending it the clear coat as a step 2 before we apply the second color. So after we sending the clear coat, we have the entry into the multi-line to not disturb the other vehicle bodies. And then there's a worker who masks the body, so the edge, the separation of both colors by hand. And you can see it's a lot of details that have to be kept in mind. And yeah, to finish the vehicle and make it ready for the paint of gentian blue metallic. And even the paint of the gentian blue metallic is made by hand. So we are still standing in the multi-line where a worker is applying the second color, the gentian blue metallic, on the vehicle body. ready to go. The first dryer run-through before we demask the vehicle body. Love this moment. And as you can see here, it's not only to remove the masking and then it's done. You can see the brush in the hand of the worker because you always have like small details that have to be removed, if it's the rest of the gentian blue metallic, for example. So on every single part of the car, the worker have to take care that everything is really, really perfect on this point. Until the vehicle body goes back to the standard line where the second clear coat application is done before the car goes back into the multi-line again. Dryer run-through. But why is it going back to the multi-line? As you can imagine, when we have those vehicle body painted in white and have a second coat, the gentian blue metallic, on top of the white, we have a difference between the height of the painting. And that is why there's a worker who is just sanding these parts to have the surface at the same, to have the surface clear again. So, and this is when the car goes back in the standard line again for the top coat line, the third coat line. And as you can see, this is always like a combination of the standard automated processes, but also with a lot of manual processes. And only these steps, I think the manual process takes about eight and a half hours. In combination with the automated processes, then the back and forth, it's over 30 hours only for the painting. So polishing step before we entry into the assembly line. I think you are all familiar, more or less, with the assembly line, so I have to concentrate on the parts that or the painting work as well as the foiling work. That is why the car is already almost finished. But as you can see, the stripes on the sides are still missing, and that is why we now going over to the Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur. So we have a transfer from the production, from the painting plan to the Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur. And there is all the foiling work done. So we start in the back of the car. You see already the first foils are applied on the car. And it takes the worker another 8 hours. So the worker is is doing this work for a whole day, only to get the foiling done on this vehicle. This is also because of all the details. You can see it here underneath the exterior mirror because the geometry is a little bit different and you cannot stop before in front of the exterior mirror. So you have to keep in mind all those little details. That takes time. So, and as I mentioned before, the Rally Sport graphic comes on the side as well with the rough roads and Porsche lettering and the starting number that the customer can choose freely. So now we're going back to the front. And now you can see when the car comes from the assembly line, the headlights were already mounted. So there's a disassembly of the parts of the vehicle to also get those little details done. Because as you can see, we don't want to stop before the headlight starts. That is why we disassembly then, bring on the foil, and after assembly the headlights again. So here you can see that the car is disassembled, but afterwards assembled. These parts are mounted again, and also the assistance systems has to be calibrated. final quality check before the car goes to the customer for sure. Okay, the last part is the Porsche equipment offer. We see it on the car as well. We have a roof basket with additional equipment. What is really interesting about this roof basket is that we decided to have those headlights on the roof basket as well. So there is this little thing here to get the electricity to the roof basket. And we have a little button inside the car that you can push to turn on the lights. But as you can saw it on the, have to go back again, saw it on the roof basket here, those are not the lights, those are the covers of the lights, because in some markets, also in Germany, you're not allowed to drive those roof baskets with the headlights on the street. And that is why we gave those covers to the customer as well. But yeah. You never know if those are mounted or not. So, and also for the car behind you, and now in this picture here, we have those packages. You can order those details as a single option, but also as a whole package, meeting those areas where we want the car to drive. So we have the water canister, for example, a petrol reserve canister, those recovery boards, or also like an outdoor bag that you can order with the car. There's also a roof tent with a sky view skylight. Always getting the question, what is the maximum load? You see it on the slide here, 140 kilograms. It says 2 person, 140 kilograms, I think. So the one who wants to sleep with me has to be a little bit smaller. But yeah, it's 140 kilograms. The size is 210 by 130 centimeters, and it's really easily to build it up and get it down again. The roof tent is also available for the 911 Dakar. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention.
Manny, do we have time for a few questions?
Yeah, I think so.
The question was, when will this be available for the U.S. market?
The 911 Dakar is already available for the U.S. market.
And how many will be available for the U.S. market?
I'm not really sure about the allocation for the US market, but I'm pretty sure that there will be a lot of cars out of the 2,500 for the US market.
What is the entry price, the MSRP?
I think the MSRP is around $222,000.
$222,000 is the MSRP.
Exactly. 28 for the Rallye Design Package. Yeah. Yeah, there is protection as well that you can order for the car, but also for the Rallye Design Package, for example, we have those standard protection as well.
Question to the left.
Are you going to be able to order the roll cage or Uber Cafe in the back for the U.S. customers?
The question was, can we order the roll cage for the U.S. customers? And I don't believe that we can.
I'm really not sure about it.
Question in the back. So the question is, will there be more cars than the limited number that you had mentioned?
So for this car, for example, with the 2,500, it's only the 2,500. It's exactly the number that is standing for. I mean, if you have the limitation badge, it would be not a good idea to have more cars than the limitation badge. But for further projects, for example, or model lines, for example, we meant.
So we spoke at dinner last night. So most of us in the States here, we've seen rally themed vehicles for probably 5-6 years, Lee Keen and his group. But what was interesting is this project started like 2010, 2012.
Yeah, exactly.
And this car is not the only thing that's going to come out of that project. It's fair to say?
So.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we always try to get the demands out of the customers, and I think the 911 Dakar as well as the package is a really successful thing. So the journalists and all the customers, I think, are really happy about this idea. So I think there is a possibility, and we're always looking to get the demand of the customer and then build those cars. Yeah.
Any other questions? Question in the back. The question was, will the two-tone paint be available for other cars?
No, so the Rally Design Package is only available for the limited vehicle.
Any other questions? Good. So I think we finished a bit early. Do we do a little bit crowd around the vehicle and talk over details? Michael Tam's also there to answer the questions. Now again, please be in the workshop, watch your head, watch your step, and have a look at the beautiful car.